stock exhaust off. Heat shields and everything are still in the car. So here's the new exhaust. I haven't looked at it one single bit, so I guess you can call it an unboxing video, but we'll see how well this goes, how well I can open everything up and lift up here. Hopefully it's all here, because these two boxes together weigh less than one of those pipes over there. So, looks like we got the two pipes here. I have to figure out which side's which. Exhaust tips. Their exhaust tip. Looks like new clamps. And oxygen sensors. Huh, I did not know that came with that. So that's interesting. I'll have to see what all that is. Maybe it has everything I need and I don't have to buy anything extra. So I'm guessing this is going to be the headers in here. Mostly guessing that because they're halfway sticking out the holes in the boxes. FedEx or UPS, whoever shipped them, evidently wasn't extremely nice with them by any means. So, instructions. That's interesting. That'll probably stay unopened. So, there's the headers. Driver's side. Passenger side. Bolts. And I'm guessing the head gaskets, which I'm hoping that everything will be okay there. Worst case scenario, I guess we got to buy new head gaskets. But looks like there should be all the parts to do everything I need to do. I'm guessing the rubber mounts off the original will probably have to come off, and the brackets on the new ones will just slide in place there. It was just easier to bolt the whole thing instead of just trying to slide them out. But I'm not going to take the bubble wrap off everything tonight anyhow, so obviously not going to do it in the video. But it's not been terrible getting everything apart. Pretty simple if you're partially mechanically inclined at all. Plan on doing a better video when it comes down to the headers and everything. That's just underneath the car here. But try to figure out how to get the headers out. I do have the shop manual, and I know it says actually take the heads off the car. So I'm going to try to avoid doing that. Talked to a few other guys that have changed these. They said something about rocking the motor. So I don't know if you got a motor mount or something like that, but I'll be looking into that kind of stuff. Also, I'm going to get these inserts here. I'm going to get those powder coated or something so they're black. Obviously, you can see that the exhaust turns them black, and they're a pain in the butt to clean, and they look like crap after you drive 2 miles. So they're kind of pointless to have silver. Still have all the factory O2 sensors and everything, so we'll see what's in that box as far as O2 sensors. But I'll have more videos, and I don't know if I'm gonna tie everything together. Probably won't put it on YouTube. We'll just tie everything together at one point, so it's just one video. So this will probably just drop into the next video. But for now, tonight, that's probably gonna be the end of what we're gonna do with the car tonight. So there we go. It started. Catch you next time. Alright, so we're back at it tonight. Unpackaged the headers and the pipes and everything like that. This is the passenger side here. And taking the driver's side header off already. It's kind of a pain. I was kind of going to do this video as maybe a how-to. Not really going to show bolt by bolt, step by step. Obviously, if you can't figure out some stuff, then you probably should just have a shop do it for you. But the instructions, they tell you how to do it. They're pretty decent. I was trying to avoid taking off the valve cover. There's just no room where the valve cover sits here, and then the pipe hits here, and I had that header turned all which directions. There's just no room. I had the box free here so I could try to move it around. The valve cover's got to come off. Simple as that. Not too hard to get anything off. Took all the spark plugs out, anything like that. Probably going to replace those anyhow, so that's kind of why I took those out. Plus, that is one of the suggestions on how to. Should be easy enough to put the new headers in there. I got the driver's side header laying over here, pulled apart. Comes in 3 pieces. Pretty much this will go in and bolt to the block, and then put the pipe in, and then connect everything, and then torque it down after everything's all bolted together and fit it. But for the driver's side, tonight we're probably going to take a brass brush here and clean up everything, you know. Race shop that I've been working with and talking to, they suggest to reuse the stock gasket. They say if it's not tore up, which mine I would say it's pretty good shape still, they suggest reusing that one. They say it's just so much better than what comes in the kit, and they say the ones in the kit will just leak over and over. They replace them a lot, so they've done more of these than I have, so I'm gonna take that advice and I'm gonna just put the stock ones back in. I might go to the dealership and see what a new one would cost. If it's not too much, I might just get a new one and put into it, but put the OEM factory gasket back in it. But I guess we'll read the paperwork and start turning into the passenger side at some point. I don't know if it's going to be tonight or not. I mean, obviously, spark plugs and everything to come out. It's a lot tighter over here, so I know they say a lot more stuff is supposed to be removed over here. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I know a lot of shops suggest pulling the motor to do this, which I can understand how it's easy to bolt the headers on and everything when you do that, but I really didn't like taking the hood off and trying to pull the motor and everything like that. It seems a little bit more in depth than what I want to do. So hopefully I'll be able to get the header in easy enough. But nice new shiny parts, and heck, all of this together weighs less than one of those factory pipes. So obviously I'm cutting a little bit of weight, and I've heard it on a car last weekend that I went on a run with. He had the exact same headers and everything on, and the car sounded amazing. So look forward to the sound and everything like that. But I guess as of tonight, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. again, we'll just tie all this together. So, of course, you're going to hear me saying I'm wrapping it up, and then a few seconds later, it's going to go into the next day. But for now, that's where we're at. Still enjoying the car. It's kind of funny that put all these accessories on the car like this. Oh, also took off the rear tire and took the fender or the fender well from the inside out. Pulled gas cap because I'm gonna have that powder coated. Don't like the silver, so probably gonna have it powder coated like a gloss black. I doubt they're gonna be able to match the paint color. So for some reason, if I could get the paint color match perfect, I might go with that. And then the Viper logo in there, paint it black. Odds are it's gonna go black, and then might get some TA color orange and paint the Viper logo in there orange. So that was a little bit of fun I had. It's kind of a pain getting all this apart. I don't want to break anything. The shop that I talked to says it's kind of a pain, so probably going to drop it by the dealership tomorrow and see if I can get them to pull it apart without, costing an arm and a leg. But I'd rather not break it, just have it done by somebody who knows what they're doing. Not that I could get it apart probably, but I know that's an expensive part to replace for just being stupid about something. So, but there she is. So we'll tie into the next video. We'll probably have the passenger side header off when we come back. So keep watching. All right, now I'm back for another fun evening working on the Viper. So today, the driver's side header's in. I'm getting new header bolts. That's going to be about a week out, so I just kind of mocked everything. Nothing's really tight, just kind of snugged in. I have spark plugs back in. I went with the E3 spark plugs. Just, I don't know, it's got about 16,000 miles on it, so figured while I'm down that far, just put some spark plugs in it. But I went ahead and put the pipes on. I haven't put any skirting up to test it. What I want to do is get the pipe in the right spot and be able to TIG it so the end piece there can't move. The clamp really fails to hold them in place from what everything says. Even the instructions say to weld it. Then I started working on the passenger side. The windshield wiper arm will not come off. It's being a pain. Don't want to break anything. Get the shroud loose. I'll try to do a section at the very beginning of the video. So obviously this is going to kind of not make sense, but there's a bolt right in there. If I don't do that, you have to open the door to get to. There's a couple bolts that are just pain with the doors shut, and with the car on 2-post lift, it's kind of a pain to open the door and get to stuff. So there's a couple bolts that would be nice to do right off the bat and not have to work around trying not to slam your door and stuff and everything. So you get the airbox out. It says take the windshield wiper off. You're able to do it, just get everything loose, and you can get to all the bolts and everything and get this airbox out of your way. It's sitting over here. Pretty much you got those bolts and then these bolts down here that you can see clear as day. But these two that are in the back is why you have to get that shroud off. And you just gotta get them loose because they're just tabs. They just slide right into the slot, so they don't have to screw all the way out. Then of course obviously pull your spark plugs and pull the valve cover, and I got the bolts out for the manifold and was trying to get the manifold out, and it is physically too big to come out. And I don't know if you can see in there. See if I can get the camera in the right spot here. Probably not gonna focus, but it's hitting down there, and it's also hitting back on the frame back here. So pretty much the only option is going to be is I won't have to get to the motor mount, bolt down there, and get the motor where I can rock it, I guess. Again, that's what it does say in the instructions. I just was trying to avoid that. The driver's side didn't have to rock it. I was able to get into it, but passenger side is just a little bit tighter. To take the airbox off, I did remove this bar here. Very simple, but I was able to pull that bar up, and then the airbox just came out this way. So that's so far what I've done. I'll go through this at the end, but there's some steps here that I haven't had to do, and I don't feel like you need to do. So, like power steering reservoir, I didn't need to move that on the driver's side. I was able to get everything in and out easy enough without moving that. So once I get everything done, I'll kind of check this list off and see what I actually needed to do, and maybe if there's anything on there that doesn't pertain to that list, I'll give you information. But pretty much try to put this video together. Anybody else that does this system, just wants a little insight of what might make it a little easier on the next person, I guess. Because I wasn't able to find anything on YouTube at all for any of this. So, but right now we got our spark plug boots on. They're DEI boots. Just a little extra insulation, heat protection. Put the heat protection wrap on. The O2 sensors that came with everything. Obviously not going to put all that in right now, because I think I'm going to probably end up pulling the pipes back off. But these are the spark plug boots. There's the back so you can see the numbers. If you're interested in something like that, and you can get whatever color you want. The orange, I mean, it doesn't quite match the TA, obviously, but it's close enough, and for where it's at, you can hardly kind of see them anyhow. But for night, I want to probably I want to clean that off a little bit. There's a little bit of dirt on there, on the O-ring. I'll lay the valve cover back on it just so no junk gets down in there. But probably for tonight, that's what's going to be. I'm going to go jump in the hot tub. Hopefully tomorrow or this weekend sometime I'll be able to rock the motor and get that header out of here. I did take the gas cap off, like I said earlier, and I took that into my Dodge dealership. They had no clue how to tear it apart either, but I left it with them, and they're going to research it and get it apart for me. So that'll work, hopefully. If not, I guess I might just be stuck with a gray gas cap, which I really don't like. But well, we'll tie in here when I get some more progress done. So keep on watching, and I'm sure you'll see the rest of this pan out decent enough. Alright, back to work on the Viper again today. As you can see, we got the passenger side header out, and I'm going to do this section so kind of give everybody an idea. You see the motor mount down there, took the nut off. It's up maybe a ½ an inch. It's not a lot, but it's just enough. That header, these parts that stick out here on the block and the frame right here, it's just tight. So you just need need that motor to come up a little bit so you can get right here up high enough you can get past it. There's a wiring harness back in here that I kept checking, and nothing's pinched, but I think if you start jacking on it crazy, that you start pinching a few things. It says to remove this bar. I did take the bolts out. Bar's in there tight, so it didn't move, and I'm not going to take it out just for no reason. I did take the air cleaner top loose, just so I didn't know how high the motor needs to come, but in all reality, as much as flexes in these hoses, that didn't need to come loose. So that's another step that I guess you could probably avoid. I was a little worried about if I start jacking on the motor that the ass in the car would want to pretty much drop backwards on the lift. So I put jack stands. This floor sucks, it's on level, so this side's not touching, the other side's touching. The car seemed pretty stable, didn't seem like it wanted to move at all. It kind of felt like it was going up a little bit as you moved the motor, taking the weight off a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's enough that felt like the car was going to come off the back of the lift or anything like that. But that being said, putting jack stands under there takes a few seconds, and it stops your $100,000+ car from falling off the back of the lift. So I would highly suggest doing that. It's the stand lifts that are just way too tall. There's no way to use those and work on the top side of the motor. But so right now I'm gonna take the headers and have them cleaned up, get them in pieces, clean these flanges, wire weld them, and going to take the headers, drop them in place. We'll see how this side's going to go. The driver's side, I didn't have the motor jacked up at all, and it wasn't terrible. It was a little bit of a pain. It was kind of like a Chinese puzzle. You had to drop the front header in and rotate it to the front of the car, then drop the back header in and bring everything around. It wasn't terrible. It's easy enough to do. If you can get this far, getting the car tore down, you'll be able to figure out how to get the header in. It won't be that big a deal. But that's where we're at for now. We'll get the headers in, get the pipes on. Like I said before, I ordered the new header bolts, so I'll get everything in and kind of just ran in, but I'm not going to torque anything down now. I'm not worried about firing it up tonight or anything. I'll wait till I get my good parts in and put it together right the first time, and I have to deal with it again. So, and then I still have to get my gas cap back from the dealership and get all these parts sent out to get powder coated before I'm overly worried about getting the side covers on, and then you gotta get all that on to get the tips in the right spot, and then take it back off and get it tagged together. So I'll take and as soon as I get the header on, I'll come back out and show you the headers. Alright, so this front side of the header, that's a real pain. As you can see, jack the motor up some more. What I didn't mention a second ago was I did have to unbolt this reservoir here, 3 bolts, just to give some room when I get the stock header out. I got this motor bolted or jacked up about as high as it's kind of willing to go without creaking or pulling some hoses too tight that I wasn't happy with. And then send the header down in there. These hoses here, you just got to get them pulled up out of the way, which I'm going to always probably now double check and make sure these ain't going to leak or something on me. But that header, it's a pain on this side, no doubt about it. So the motor's got to go up a little higher than what I initially showed. It's pretty much right up above that stud. I mean, it might be hard to see, but it's right above the stud. I'm just hoping it comes back this direction easy enough when I put it down. So get the other side on. Hopefully it'll drop in easy enough, but I know the driver's side was like a Chinese puzzle. Have to have that in there, and now I got a smaller hole to play with now that this pipe's in here. So hopefully I'll get that pipe dropped in there easy enough. But that motor's got to go up pretty good, and that reservoir's got to be loose so you can get around everything. I don't know. Nothing said to take it off, I don't believe. I have to look at the paperwork. But I also have the shop manual. It doesn't say anything about taking it off. Didn't really want to start disconnecting any type of lines or anything. But I think we'll get her. So we'll come back as soon as we have this other side on. Well, sorry about this, but I had a section that kind of showed dropping this header in here, but evidently I took a picture instead of making a video, so we'll try to make sure this is a video this time. But you see that motor bolt back there, motor mount bolt. I had to have this motor jacked up a lot higher than in the last clip to get this header in, and it was tight. These hoses and everything, they're in the way. It does say on the paperwork to remove coolant reservoir and disconnect and everything like that. Just seemed a lot more headache than what I wanted to deal with. So I did unbolt it, but you can pull it up out of the way. Stuff flexes. It is possible to get it in there without removing this. So if you're watching this video to kind of get some ideas before you do this yourself, there you go. That is possible. It's a pain in the butt, but it's possible. So take that for what it is. I really don't think removing it would have given me that much more, because my biggest issue was in between the frame and the block and the head. I guess actually it really is. It's the head. That's just tight. No matter how you slice it, that's just tight in there. So, but anyhow, I got everything in here. As you can see, I even got everything running, and I just kind of got everything zipped up a little bit. Just put it in place, put the pipe on and everything like that, just to kind of, I mean, nothing's loose, but it's not torqued down. Just kind of get a fitment idea. I'm going to have to put the side skirt on, get the exhaust tip where I want it, and take everything back off to TIG weld it together. I'm sure I could borrow one of my buddies' TIG welder and, you know, do it in place, but I'd rather just take it off the car. It's not that much, and I'll just take it into the shop and we'll weld it at work and make sure it's right. It's a lot easier to weld it off the car than accidentally screw something up on the car. So I did, when I was jacking the engine, I did take this loose. Really didn't need to, but it's nothing too complicated. Again, this bar had no need to even be unbolted. I mean, you guys see that hole over there, everything's still lined up. It didn't move at all. It's in there pretty tight too, so it can be a pain to try to get it to move anyhow. Pretty much that's where we're going to be at, I guess. I'm waiting on parts that I ordered new manifold bolts and everything like that, so I'm sure these might be okay, and I'm sure a lot of people will reuse them. They do send other bolts in the kit, but they're just regular kind of bolts, and I don't know. Really wasn't a huge fan of trying to put this stuff in, so spent what, $120 buy the new bolts, 20 bolts. Yeah, they're like $5-6 a piece. They're pricey for a bolt, but it's better than breaking off and retorquing something that takes and heats up this much and cools down. I'd rather just spend $100 and put it back together right. Well, other than that, we're probably going to be putting the car on the ground and firing it up when it comes to the next clip, unless I run into any other headaches. I'm not really going to re-show pulling the pipes off and taking those, because if you're doing this project yourself and that's the issue you have, you don't know how to weld or something, then take it to a weld shop and have them do it. It ain't going to cost you that much. But you only just need a few little welds on there. Other than that, to me, it's been fun. I've not been rushing to get anything done. I've just been taking my time and kind of being easy on it to make sure I don't break anything. It's just fun working on it, I believe. And it's been a week. I got to drive it last weekend, but I'm already going through withdrawals. This car's tons of fun to drive, and it doesn't matter that it's a little rough. It's more or less a race car. It's crazy fun. So, all right, well, we'll clip back in here and hopefully be putting her on the ground and firing her up. So, keep on watching.